Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Madly Moved with Maddie, the new revamped series Mad Stirs the Pot. On this episode, I have a very special guest. She's a Philadelphia native, founder of the Swift Steps Recovery Program. Swift Steps is a recovery community for sober Swifties. She made the program to be built on connection, self-discovery, and the universal language of music. They embrace all paths to healing and inspire members to grow into their most authentic selves. And I just want to say, your Tuesday night meetings have become a regular thing for me. I absolutely love the format, and I wouldn't have admitted this before, but I am a Swiftie. So, without further ado, let me introduce my second guest, the lovely Julianne Griffin.
Oh, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. That was really, really lovely.
I learned that from somebody you.
Thank
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on my podcast. It's my new revamped series, Mad Stirs the Pot. And I have had one guest so far, and you're my second guest. And I'm so excited that I have a girl from Philly on my podcast. Like, that's just the coolest thing to me because I love Philly so much and I like to pretend I'm a Philly chick, but I'm not. I'm straight up, South Jersey Sticks girl, but in my heart, I feel like I want to be.
you.
So thank you
Thank
again.
you.
Yeah. So I thought it was really cool that I saw you on the news and all the videos that you posted, and I just love what you're doing for the community. It means so much to me to see somebody that's so passionate about recovery and was asked me to be on your recovery meeting, and that was the first time. That's the first time that anyone has ever asked me to like do anything like that, um to speak and tell my story, and it was really cool, and it felt really good, and it felt like I was able to like actually be in a space that like people cared and were paying attention, and it wasn't like all about the drama that you can get in other type of recovery meetings, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah, I'm really glad that you felt that.
I thought that we would do something
Okay.
fun for the beginning of the episode. I have this jar deep.
All right,
Exactly.
let's go for it.
I just shook it up. I don't know what it is. How easy is it for you to shake off the negative thoughts?
Not easy. Definitely not easy. Like my mom is right now currently watching my dog while I'm in Seattle, and I haven't even been gone for 24 hours yet. You know what? Let me not even say that. She hasn't even been at my house for 8 hours yet. And we've already talked on the phone like 18 million times. And of course, that's an exaggeration. But she's already put some thoughts in my head that I don't want to get into here, but just the way that she communicates things to me sometimes is so crazy. And it's been a couple hours since she said one or two of these things to me, and I've had a hard time shaking them off. I haven't even fully shaken them off yet. So, God, it's not easy. I would say that it definitely takes me talking myself down and through things sometimes. So it's not easy at all.
Yeah,
But I guess it
I
depends
feel
on the thought.
yeah. So like I get like that, and I'll let it ruin my whole
Yeah.
entire day. So you weren't able to shake off that one. You couldn't shake it off. But what were you doing at 22 years old?
Oh gosh. I was in an abusive relationship with a guy who's no longer alive. He died from the disease of addiction. He and I were not addicts together. We both became addicts after we were separate from one another. Um, but when I was 22, he had become a big part of my life, and I kind of just gave in to everything that he asked of me, like all the rules, like don't go out without me, don't go to bars without me. Just like the craziest things that you to ask of somebody at like 22 years old.
Yeah, like your prime time to go out
Yeah,
and
and
party.
also like meanwhile, like you're straight up going out and then doing these things that you're asking me not to do and lying about it and then getting caught. And so like he was just not a good person, but that's what I was doing at 22. I was fighting for my life inside of an abusive relationship.
I think I was at the same spot
Mhm.
almost at 22,
It's not bad.
but it's not, So that song, it's like it doesn't even relate to this. Um, what is your wildest dream?
Oh, to collaborate with Taylor.
Oh, whew, that
To
was quick.
collaborate with Taylor with something Swift Steps, you know? Like I would like Taylor has the financial means to make this something that's available to Swifties everywhere for free or for a super duper low cost. And I feel like if I got to collaborate with her on that, it would be just so incredibly beneficial.
It would.
It would be so insanely brilliant because you know that she has every single person who's on her team is the Taylor Swift of their game, of whatever it is that they do.
I love that.
She would then bring in all of the Taylor Swifts in the recovery industry to then just revamp exactly just like what, like the framework of what I've already done with Swift Steps is, and just make it like just a zillion, billion,
Yeah,
million.
seeing you talk about your passion gives me chills. Like
I'm ready to cry about it.
no, me too. Like I don't know. I'm very empathetic towards people, and I feel that because I have such a passion and such a dream for things in life, and it's just so cool to see another girl, in recovery that is just like going for it, and you don't care about what anyone else thinks, and that's just the coolest part.
Thank
Yeah, it's just awesome. I love that, and it not only would it like open up the to like globally, but it would also having Taylor endorse something like that would literally make everyone who's like in her peer group feel comfortable to be like, yeah, maybe I have a problem. So maybe the industry wouldn't have, maybe they would be so more sober if Taylor did something like
Yeah.
that. We can only hope. We can only hope. Oh, I got an appearance of my cat. Special guest.
What's your cat's name
This is
again?
her name.
What's your cat's name
Sorry,
again? Oh,
cinnamon
Cinnamon
roll.
Roll.
Yeah. So, who do you always hold a blank space in your heart for?
Oh.
And we can think of someone fun. We don't have to go there. Yeah.
Blank space in my heart. Um, Here's a couple people. One, my dad. Very complicated relationship with my dad, because I was like a daddy's girl, but also he beat the fuck out of my mother. I saw him do a lot of really shitty stuff. He was never around when I was a kid. Never followed through on any promises, and then overdosed and died by the time I was 12. And so there was periods of my life where I would like rage and hate him because that's all I could do is like hate him as an addict for what he did and for choosing drugs over me, and villainize him and demonize him the same way I did with my mom, and who was still alive and still showed up and tried to take care of me as best as she could. But so I have like a lot of really complicated feelings about him. So I'm gonna say him, probably just overall him, because I just throughout life just went back and forth with like, am I with my identity of like, am I a daddy's girl, and would I still love my dad the way I do today if he was alive,
Mm.
and still behaving the way he would, or would I really just actually hate him? And so, like, I just bounced between those two my whole life. But now I found like a peace and a compassion for him. But that's got to be my answer, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's a very honest and raw answer. Thank you for being brave enough.
Yeah, thanks.
I really, my condolences for your loss and you go through a strong woman. So, gonna keep going. What year was your cruelest summer?
Oh my God.
She fell over. Where is she?
Well, I think
Oh, yeah.
this
Was
summer,
it?
this past summer was my cruelest summer. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you why if you want me to get into
Go
it.
ahead.
I found out that my husband was dating somebody, well, my ex-husband. So he was no longer my husband. He was very much free to do whatever he wanted. We were separated for quite some time, but I didn't know that he was dating somebody. And I hadn't quite, I thought that I had dealt with the emotions of leaving our marriage, and I hadn't quite until I had stumbled upon this. And then I had a quite epic
Exit the
BPD crash out. Um, Not cute. And um, yeah, once I got past that, I was like, I need to be dating again. And then I got on the apps. Bad idea. And the second guy that I met off the apps, I kind of like really he really hurt me. Let's just say he hurt me. And it still stings all this time later. I'm still kind of dealing with the residual effects from it. But that happened in early summer. So like May, June. And so that I would say that was my cruelest summer because it dealt with the heartache from losing my ex-husband and realizing like, damn, okay, he's not always going to be there to love me no matter what. He's starting to move on, which led to my BPD crash out, which led to me like liking this guy that I don't even know if I would have liked if I was in my right mind, and then being rejected and really hurt by him.
right.
So, yeah, cruelest summer.
I had a cruel summer too. This probably was the worst summer in a couple summers, maybe. I kind of had this like a really weird situation. I'm in this sticky relationship that I it's really just a co-parenting thing at this point. We're not together. So I ended up hooking up with an ex in the summer and it just got sticky. So I wasn't ready for that. I have BPD crash outs all summer, almost every day. I'm surprised I didn't end up in like a turtle
Mm.
suit, honestly. But
BPD is tough.
yeah, BPD is like not fun, but you know it's getting more
It,
recognized, and I think that it's getting easier to handle, and it's becoming like more of a thing that people want to heal from. Like they're not just like trying to stay like that. And I was in DBT therapy, and I do now. I'm in therapy, and I still do DBT therapy, but it's not strictly
mhm.
DBT. But that's what helps me. That's the only thing that helps me is DBT therapy. If I wasn't in that, I would be in a turtle
Yeah,
that's for sure.
after my crash out over my ex-husband, I was like, I cannot feel this way about another human being again. Like, I am insane when I'm in love. Like, I'm crazy. I cannot do this shit again. Like, I become fucking crazy. And I don't want to be. And so I was like, I
No.
need to do something about this. And so I got into EMDR. But at the same
Okay.
time, that's when I had just met this other guy. Was the same weekend that I started my like EMDR journey. And I also think that that's why I became so like fucked up over that guy too, but just more
So
context. Such good decisions starting EMDR right when I'm meeting like this dude, like just not a good getting on the apps. It's all messy. Messy. Talk about sticky.
that's our addict
Yeah.
brain. That's what that is. It's our brain telling us like we need more. We need more. We need to add more to our life and mess things up even more when we're not
Yeah.
okay. But that's how we learn. That's literally how we learn.
Oh,
So
very true.
you know this, and if you ever feel like you're getting into that situation again, just watch this podcast. Just watch that. Watch that episode.
You know what else too?
I
Have you ever seen, oh goodness, I'm gonna have to send you this show. It's about a girl who has borderline. I can't think of the name of it, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. I love everything about mental health and stuff like that. Um, so I did have some other questions that I wanted to
Please.
ask. I just thought that this one was pretty good too. So how long was your active addiction, and how old were you when it started?
Okay, so I was 28 years old when I first started getting prescribed opiates. And that went on for, see me? My active addiction started right after I got married. So I turned 28 December 17th. I was married November 11th. So February something, I got prescribed narcotics, and like right away, like I just immediately was like, oh, I love these. Like, oh, I love this. I really like this. And I legitimately, like, my ego was like, all right, well, when it's time to stop taking them, you'll just wean yourself off. Like, no biggie. Like, no biggie. Like, you're not weak. Like, junkies. Swear to God. Like, that's how my brain was at the time. That's the way I thought.
So you thought you were the exception.
100%. And also, I didn't think that addiction was a disease. I didn't believe it. I thought it was bullshit. I thought it was an excuse. I thought it was a weakness. I thought, yeah, I still really very much believed all of those things.
You're not the only one that thinks that
I
still. Like,
know.
and we're gonna have to work for another decade to make everyone not believe that. It's still gonna be people that believe that. And if I didn't end up being an addict, I probably would have had that perspective as well, because my parents were addicts. My parents were meth heads. You know what I mean? They were drug dealers. And they're both still alive. They're really debilitated because of their addiction. And so yeah, I turned out like this, but my sister turned out completely normal, and she would never touch a drug, and she is completely against that. So it's not picky. It just happens. You know what I mean? But so like, how do you think? So how do you think you started to heal? What made you feel like, okay, I'm turning this around. I'm gonna heal.
Okay. So, I didn't actually have a plan to be a participant in recovery for real until I was like halfway through my rehab stay. And I was only in rehab because my job was my union rep basically said, like, if you want to save your job, like you should go to rehab. And I was like, well, I need money to buy drugs, so I'm going to go to rehab. So I went to rehab fully thinking I was just going to do a better job of hiding it when I got out. Like I was just like, I'm going to do the thing here and get out. Like I'm going to convince these doctors that I can be out of here in 2 weeks and get back to work and live my life. And I was like sitting around with a bunch of like younger kids. Like I was 30 at the time and they were like 18 to 20ish. And they were all talking about what time in rehab it was for them. And it was like sixth time, 10th time, 15th time, 20th time, blah, 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 blah. And they got to me and I was like, this is my first time. And nobody could believe it. Like they were all in shock. And this 18-year-old kid was sitting across from me on the picnic table and he was just like, this is like genuinely your first time here. And I said, yeah. And he's just like with his hand, just like kind of held his hand out to me and he was like, please get it, or get it now. Like, get this thing now. Like, he said it over, like, over and over and over. Like, get this thing now.
Mhm.
Like, get this recovery now. Like, don't fuck around. Don't come back in these places. Don't be like, don't have it be like a revolving door. Like, come in, actually hear what they're trying to teach you and like do something with it. And like that really, really fucking spoke to me because I did not
Wow.
want to be coming back and forth and doing this because that's what my parents did my whole life. They were in and out of treatment centers. That's what my dad did until he died. And, my mom has been in and out of treatment centers and mental health facilities my whole life too. And I just really did not want that. And so I thought, maybe I should really give this a shot. And like in that moment, I had a moment of clarity where I was like, if I don't go pick up the phone right now and call Jack and tell him where all the drugs are in the house, I'm not going to. I'm going to go back on this if I wait too long. And so I got up and I went and I got a counselor and I said, I need to make a phone call home. It's an emergency. I need to tell my husband where the drugs are in the house. And if I don't tell him now, I may never tell him. And so I got on the phone and I called him and I told him. And at that point is when I decided I am really going to I'm going to make a conscious effort to change here. And I just completely like went 100% full force after that. I was like, I need to do this. And I think that that's like when I started healing. Like before
I,
that, like I was just like I wasn't even giving it a chance.
yeah. I, that guy is an angel. That guy is a literal angel. Because if he wasn't put in your path that day on the picnic table,
Yes.
you would have you wouldn't have gotten sober. Maybe you would be sober by now. You know
You
what I
never
mean?
know though.
But
Yeah.
I the first time I went to rehab, I was like those kids that you were with. I was like 18, 19 years old, and I wish I would have gotten it then. I that would have been crazy if I would have been sober all that time. That'd be like almost 15 years that I would have under my belt, and that's not what happened. And it's just so cool to see somebody that used rehab one time and it just worked. And it's funny. My actual sponsor, it has the same story, I think. But that's really funny.
My mom told me that
But I,
too. She said to me, like, that's such a gift. She's like, that doesn't really happen like one and done. She's like, it's such a gift.
no, so I don't even know. God sent you an angel from the heavens
I wish I
above.
knew his name so that I could even like say that this is who did it, but I don't know his name. I could see his face.
That's your life. It's so crazy because that's something I would have never done. I would have never done that. Called somebody up and like, yeah, this is where that's at. I could have never done that. In that moment, you knew you wanted to be sober. You made that decision. That's profound. It really is. I don't think I ever met. I don't know if I ever met somebody that was in active addiction with pills like Percocets like that. And I don't know if you were drinking or if that's part of your story too. But I I literally never met somebody that has that story. Probably besides my sponsor, and she's like she's I can't really I don't want to break any anonymity, but she's not in our age group, and that's just so unheard of in our age group in the time it is today with the drug epidemic. You living in Philadelphia, and you didn't even get to the point where you I don't know if you did or not, but I haven't heard you say that you did fentanyl or
Well,
heroin.
did
So
fentanyl, but I had actual patches from the pharmacy. I never actually bought anything off of the street. And if anything came from someone that didn't come from a pharmacy, I never bought it on the street directly. Somebody went and got it for me. But
so
I never actually tried heroin. But fentanyl, yes.
you're so lucky because I know most people that got to that point, you know what I mean? They like if you would have had to have gone back, that guy would see your deterioration. He saw it before it even happened because if you come back the second time to rehab, you're a different
Ye-
person. When you go back out after you get clean, you're not the same, you know, and it's hard to get back to who you were
Yes.
before uh doing that.
Yes.
But so I we're coming up on the 7:30 and I was totally late getting you into the meeting and
That's we can go
I
to
had some
7:45.
technical.
We can go
I'm
to
sorry.
7:45.
Oh, okay, cool. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And you look at you because you even have a meeting to run, right? Like at 8 o'clock,
Yeah,
don't
it's fine
you?
though. It's all good.
Okay, super girl. Like you're literally helping and doing the most girl power thing that I've seen a girl do
Thank
lately for
you.
me. So funny and jokey kind of. So do you play
I
Fortnite?
don't. No. I don't even know what it is. Is it a video game?
Do you? Yeah, it's a video game like and they play it on the
Okay.
computer, but it's also a
Well,
clip
I know
song,
the
so I had to throw
song,
that.
but I don't know the game.
I just wanted to lighten it
Yeah.
up a little bit. So I really do appreciate you coming on, and so the next one that I found was, um, what was the moment that you looked at yourself and said, "Look what you made me do."
Oh God. Shit, that's a good question. What you made me do? Fuck. Oh my God.
Well, for
Yeah.
me,
Me.
uh, if you want me to tell you that what I when that moment was
Yeah.
for me, what you made me do, Madeline, was when ugh, it's like the shittiest story, but I tell it really fast because it's easier that way. So basically, I overdosed when my daughter was home, and I was alone with her. I was laying on the floor, has unalived almost, basically. And so when I woke up in the hospital bed, that was my "look what you made me do" moment. Like, Madeline, are you serious? You did this again as a mother? Like, I couldn't even. I You know how you said that you used to judge
Mhm.
addicts? I used to judge addicts that were
Mhm.
mothers. I would be like, how could you do
Yep.
that? And then I wake up in the hospital and my daughter was alone for 3 hours while I was over, and she was 3 years old. So that was my "look at what you made me do" moment. And I can't, in recovery, like for me, I never want to say I'll never get
Yeah.
high again because I feel like I'm like jinxing myself,
Huh?
you know what I mean? But like that moment is the closest thing that I can say like I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to let myself get to that point again because I don't even know how I got there to begin with. I really don't know how I got so wrapped into that um in that moment. But now I can. She's 7 years old. She doesn't remember it, but I do. So that's how I'm gonna make sure for her it never happens again, and I don't have to repeat any cycles that I already repeated. And, another thing, you're a child of addict parents, and so is my
Yeah.
daughter. You know, just like the last guest that I had, she's not an addict, but her parents were. And I could see my daughter in every single kid of an addict because if I mess up, if I do anything, I literally am ruining two other lives. And I look at you, and I looked at her at my last guest, and I just thought to myself, like, that could be my daughter if you mess up again. So like, just don't, and just keep doing what you got to do to keep on the motivation to stay sober and never pick up drugs that killed me.
Absolutely.
Made myself cry.
Oh, but it's like we do make big mistakes, but we get to make big recoveries, and we get to make sure that we show up for people every single day, like you're talking about, like you made mistakes with your daughter, but all you can do is do better from here on out. And that's what you've been doing. And so go you. That's all you
Thank
can
you.
ask of
Thank.
someone.
I don't know. I don't think that story is ever gonna like not get.
How
You
could
know.
it not though? It's like you're not human if it doesn't get to you. That's like tough stuff. I think with listening to you though, talk about like waking up in the bed though, and your overdose, like I could say that it was my overdose moment, but I don't know that it was. I think it was my DUI. My DUI really scared the shit out of me. Um, no, that's not it. That's not it. I know the answer. The answer is when I was pulled into the office at work because I fell asleep at my desk at work because I was eating Xanax all night long, and then when I woke up, sucked on a fentanyl patch and went to work and just fell asleep. And they woke me up to ask me do you take medication? And I was like so disoriented and confused. And they were like, you were just sleeping at your desk. And I was like, I want my union rep. Like I knew to say no more and just to say I want my union rep. And that's how I ended up in
Yeah.
rehab and sitting in like waiting for Suboxone. There's like that time period you have to wait. I was like just sitting there like crawling out of my skin, and everybody was like in group and there was nothing to do and the TVs weren't on, and I was like going a little bit batty, and I was like, how the fuck did I get here? I'm not like any of these
Mm.
people. And within like 5 minutes, I was like, bitch, you know how you got here? Like you're like all of these people. Like, come on. So I think that was the like, look what you made me do. Like, look what you did. That has to be the moment. Yeah. Sorry it took me a little
That
bit to get
aha
there.
moment, as it does for us, doesn't it? It always takes us people with BPD and addiction problems a million years to get to what's really going to help us and solve, our real.
Yeah. Oh,
Man, everything that you say, I just get so synced into it because it's just like, wow, you have such a story to tell, and again, like, I'm just so happy that you're on
thank
my
you. I feel
mind.
so bad that like my lighting is bad. Like again, I would have had better lighting and stuff. I'm sorry. I'm traveling.
It's okay.
Okay.
No, you're fine. Like, hello, Seattle. Tell Seattle
I
I said
will.
hello because, and that's so cool that
It's
you're there.
cool.
So, what do you think about astro projection?
Okay, so I had to look that up before coming on, and I don't know. I'll say this, my sister is an animal communicator, and
Okay.
she uses
Really?
telepathy to communicate with animals, whether they're dead or alive. And I very much believe in what she does. So I don't know that I believe in astral projections as in like maybe I could do it, but if she told me if there was a way that she could do it, I'd probably be like, "Oh, all right, cool, let's talk about it." Like I would hear her out and like want to like listen, but like just Googling it, I'm like, I don't know about that. but I believe
Yeah,
in telepathy and what she does, so, I'm not too closed-minded anymore about that kind of stuff.
I love asking people that question because I just get to see like how imaginative they can get and like that. It's like a fun
Yeah.
question. I love like conspiracy theories and I love like stuff like that. So it's just like it's just fun for me to think about because that's first of all, your sister talks to dogs like dead or
Uh-huh.
alive.
That's what she does for a living, yeah.
I need to hire
It's
her
pretty cool.
because I have a couple animals that I need to talk to. So I'm gonna figure that out. That's so awesome, and that is kind of like astro projection if you think about it, in a way,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. So like for the last part of my podcast, I always do this like thing. It's like I guess it's just maybe some like self care and like a little bit of like motivation like for yourself. It's like a little pep talk for
Oh.
yourself. Basically at the end of the podcast. If anyone ever makes it to the end of my podcast, then I literally start it with like, all right, guys, thank you for listening or watching my podcast. I really appreciate everyone who follows and clicks the bell for notifications on Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, the link to my Spotify will be in the description below. So I have this way that I like to end the podcast. And if you're driving, don't do this. But if you can, just give yourself a little hug or maybe just hold yourself on your heart and tell yourself you're worth it, you're kind, you're smart. Everything that you want and you dream of is going to come true. And again, thank you for listening and watching my podcast. Again, thank you to Julianne Griffin, the founder of Swift Steps, for coming and sharing her story and answering my silly little questions and taking the little trivia games that I had. Just being so open and honest. This girl gave me chills and made me cry like 4 times or maybe like 400 times. You can't tell because of my poker face. But just go check her out. Go check out the Swift Steps, please. I'm going to link everything in the description below. And Julianne, do you have anything else that you want to plug? Anything you got going?
Just the Swift Steps app that lives on Mighty Communities, and you can find all of the membership info at our website, swiftsteps.org/memberships. That's the only thing I want to plug. I just want to really thank you for having me on. I really, really appreciate it. This was lovely, and I would love to do it again.
Oh my God, I can't wait for the next time we do it. And hopefully, I'll be able to not have technical difficulties.
Would love to do a live with you, and I'm certainly trying to get my numbers up on TikTok as well, so we can collaborate.
Heck yeah, I love that. And I can't wait. And all right, thank you again.
Bye. Thank you.